Well, it's election season here in America, which means people will find just about anything to get angry and needlessly worked up over. And First Lady Melania Trump was on the receiving end of a ton of criticism when she debuted recent changes to the iconic White House Rose Garden. Ahead of her RNC speech, the First Lady revealed the changes to the garden that was first designed back in 1962. Historian Michael Beschloss shared the side-by-side images from Getty and the Washington Post, and people, of course, immediately hated it. One viral tweet read, "Melania tearing out all the flowers and trees and leaving it a mere shell of what it once was is a metaphor for Trump's entire presidency." But searing criticism is one thing. Some took things a step further. This one Facebook post alleged, and in yet another insult to George Washington and the country, Melania ordered the cherry tree to be chopped down. The cherry trees planted by Jackie Kennedy. Every administration had preserved them. And the Occupy Democrats Facebook page, which has millions of followers, posted this image before offering a correction. Melania dug up the White House Rose Garden, removing roses from every First Lady since 1913. She's as clueless and classless as her husband. So, as you can clearly see here, people were pretty quick to conflate their feelings for Donald Trump with thoughts on the Rose Garden remake. But let's face the facts. The trees taken from the Rose Garden were not cherry blossoms, the signature tree of Washington that probably clutters your Instagram feed every April. Instead, these are crabapple trees, and while they were removed by the First Lady, they weren't chopped down, nor are they being taken away. The trees are expected to be replanted on the White House grounds soon, but they were removed because they cast too much shade on the nearby plants. In fact, Melania Trump's not even the First Lady to think so. Back in 1980, Nancy Reagan thought they were too big, and she asked the original architect, Bunny Mellon, a close personal friend of the Kennedys, about their removal. Then there's all the false claims about the roses. While the originals were planted in 1913 by Ellen Wilson, it's unlikely that any of those originals have now lasted more than 100 years. White flowers have been added by the Trump family, though, which they are calling appropriately the JFK Rose. Now, that's not to say that there aren't very real questions. For instance, we have no idea how much money was actually spent on this Rose Garden facelift. Reports simply show it was funded by private donations, and while the changes do make for a lot more visibility in the Rose Garden, social media claims about its history have been flat out wrong.